So today we're going to be taking a look at the Kato in scale BNSF ES44AC. The model is DC and the ID number is 5801. And let's go ahead and get started with the review. Taking a look at the cab, so we have our two ditch lights, our plow which has air brake detail, no MU cable as standard for Kato locomotives, Kato coupler, and I will have to install the coupler trip pins as you saw a few moments ago. Door, two lights for the headlight, the BNSF swoosh logo, sand filler hatches on both sides, our two molded on grab irons, which are not very prototypical, but it's whatever, it still looks good. We have our windshields with the windshield wipers, and then the number boards which are above the cab, which is prototypical for BNSF locomotives, whereas with other railroads they have them down here on the nose. Looking on the side of the cab, you have the 5801 ID number, 4 windows showing that this is a modern locomotive, PTC antenna, GPS dome. Looking underneath the cab, so we have an F indicating the front of the locomotive, the locomotive name ES44AC. For those of you who don't know what that means, ES stands for Evolution Series, 44 stands for the horsepower, and AC stands for the traction. First truck is pretty great detail. I really like the suspension as well. Next we have our fuel tank with our water sight glass. Behind the cab we have our 2 air intakes with more cabinet detail all over, our BNSF swoosh logo. And on the top of the locomotive next to our turbo, we have our BNSF K5 HLL horn. The easiest way to tell that this is an ES44 is by looking at the radiator design. The back portion has like a more, I guess, common type of design where it's slanted, but it has a big box with 2 fans in front of it. Down here we have more fans, air intake, or outtake I guess, and then we have our brake wheel. And the final truck is the same as the first, but reversed. The back of the locomotive is not lacking in any detail whatsoever, apart from the MU cable of course. We have our brakes, or air hoses, whatever you want to call them, the coupler, rear braking. Looking up here, we have our headlight, which I believe should be lowered down just slightly on BNSF locomotives, but I'm not really too worried about that. And then you have your 5801 ID number and your sand filler hatch. Taking a look on this side of the locomotive, so it's basically identical. However, there is no brake wheel. We have an inverter cabinet instead of the huge box of cabinets on the other side. And on this side we have 2 air reservoir tanks instead of the fuel tank. So overall I'm pretty impressed with the locomotive. The only real complaint I have is that the handrail here should be painted white and the handrails should be separately applied, not molded on. But apart from that, this locomotive is pretty beautiful with the paint scheme. I'm pretty impressed with Kato's performance and effort they put onto this model. And let's go ahead and test this on the layout. So overall, I'm super impressed with this locomotive. I think it's going to make a great addition to my roster, even though I modeled mostly CSX. But I still think this locomotive is really cool. I also plan to color in the door and the handrail to make it slightly more prototypical for my liking. But other than that, I give this model a 10 out of 10. It's a very, very good model by Kato. I'm super thankful to have this in my roster now, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any opinions on the locomotive, but yeah, I am out.